All right, so good evening, everyone, and welcome to this Let's Talk Scrum of August 2023. You all know me. If you do not know me, my name is Deepak Chauhan. I am one of the agile enthusiasts, as I would like to call myself. And I work with Deepti and Vineet in evangelizing about agility across different organizations, right? So welcome once again. And what I have planned in this session is let's do some kind of an activity. Let's do some knowledge sharing so that we create real value, right? Out of this 1.5 hours that you have decided to spend here. So I've come up with some real challenges of Scrum teams based on the people that I've met in my agile coaching sessions, in my work, people facing different Scrum challenges. So I've come up with 4 or 5 of them that I have, selected for this event. So what we will do is we will go through those challenges and then I will put you into breakout rooms in a group, and then people will be discussing how to overcome those challenges and what can be done to move to the next level of agility. Is that fine with all of you? Right? So that we can actually create some value out of the 1.5 hours that we are going to spend here. All right. So before that, let me send you one link, which is a Jamboard link. I hope all of you will be able to access this. So I'm going to send this across into the chat window. Right, so into your chat window, there's a link that I've just shared, and that link is going to take you to Google Jamboard, and something like this will display. All of you are able to access it?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
All right, very good. So here there are multiple frames out there. So when you toggle, you will find Scrum Challenge 1, right? So these are small cases that I have created that we are going to work upon, right? So screen number 2 is Scrum Challenge 1. And when you toggle to the next screen, you will have a frame which is I've specifically dedicated for people to take down some notes, or if you want to have some ideas, jot it down. So it will be your work areas, right? While you are working in a breakout room, for example, you're working on this challenge number 1, this is going to be the screen where you can write down some notes or have some round of discussion. So I'm just going to remove it. Someone is using it, I guess. Right. So they are close to, I think, 6 challenges that I have put up here on the Jamboard. We will see how many we can cover, right? Whatever time is available to us. So now these are real Scrum challenges which I have come across in my training, in my coaching, and in my talking to different people. So I really want all of us to, go through them and come up with thoughts and ideas how these kind of challenges can be overcome. And on frame number 14, there's a question parking lot that I have created. During the discussion, if any question comes to your mind, or if any, burning question is there in your mind, please feel free to pick up a sticky note and add a question to the question parking lot. We'll be taking these questions in the last 20 minutes of the event. All right. Is it clear? Am I clear? Any doubts anyone has? How we are going to run this event?
No.
No questions? So I will request all of you, whosoever can, please switch on your videos, because it will be very helpful. If you're facing some bandwidth issues, or there's some other issue, you're in office, you cannot, then it is fine. Because for a facilitator like me, it becomes very difficult if I am talking to black screen, right? All of you would be agreeing with me right here.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so that will be great if you can switch on your videos. Great, thank you to all of you for that. All right, so people who have just joined in, I have just shared a link with you. I will just share it once again, right? All right, no worries. So I'm just going to share that link again for the benefit of the participants who have just joined. So this is the link which will take you to the Jamboard where we are going to do some exercises. All right, this is how this event is going to work. All right, so before we start, right, before we pick up any challenge from the Jamboard that I've created, let me show you a very, very interesting video, right? It is in a very, very comical sense. but I believe all of you would really enjoy it. So just give me a moment. I'm just pulling it up. Right. So if you have seen this,
Chet Wrong here with the wrong way to do Agile. Today, planning. Start with a round of planning poker. If someone throws out an estimate that is different from the others, then remove that person immediately. If planning takes too long, then just have the product owner do all the planning. This will speed things up greatly. Feel free to restrain team members as needed. Once the product owner has assigned all tasks, then their work is done. They won't be needed until the next planning meeting. Now remember, this plan is only a suggestion, so be sure to add plenty of time at your next stand-up to add new items. And that's the wrong way to do planning.
yeah. So with that, let's move to picking up one item from the list that I have created. And let's see what are we going to talk about. All right, so let's pick up challenge number 5, right, which is frame number 10 of the Jamboard, right? So I'm just going to pull it up onto your screens. This is what it is. Now this is a challenge number 5. Manager in a Scrum team. So Kishore is on a new team as a Scrum Master. He notices the reporting manager, though part of the Scrum team, isn't handling any Scrum duties, right? The manager attends all the meetings to ensure team delivery. What should Kishore do? So this is the challenge. I believe most of us have seen this multiple times, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put you into breakout rooms and let me see how many participants are there. There are 25 participants. So I'm going to put all of you into 5 breakout rooms and you will have a round of discussion and then come up with what in this situation a person like Kishore should do, right? The case is pretty clear, right? Any questions? What you have to do? And for recording your observation, you can use frame number 11 of Jamboard, right? Discussion frame that I have created for Scrum Challenge number 5. Is it fine with all of you?
Yes. Yes.
All right, great. So let's see what a person like Kishore should do. So I'm just putting you into breakout rooms and I'm creating 5 breakout rooms. Deepthi, if you want to join, you can join. Otherwise, you'll be here only. All right. And with your permission, I'll be switching and seeing what people are doing in breakout rooms, right? But I'll be anonymous. I'll be off video. But you can always, if you have doubts, please ask me any questions. All right. All right. So everyone is back?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So how was the discussion? Something which we come across almost every day, right?
Yes.
There's a manager and he is kind of part of a team, but he is not picking up any role. He's kind of a people's manager or a delivery manager, right? So what should a person like Kishore do who's just joined as a Scrum Master? Yes. So which group wants to go first? Let's have some sharing and create value for the group. Yep. Anyone can volunteer.
We can go first, Deepak.
Yeah, Neha, go ahead. Room number 2. Yes.
Okay, so basically we added couple of points and I would expect rest of the team members to pitch in. The first and the foremost point that we thought is to make the team aware of the Scrum rules. That we have 3 main roles, PO, Scrum Master and Dev team. And sometimes manager is also aware about these roles, but it's hard to put him under that a specific role bracket. So basically, what everyone was suggesting that, it's important to have a one-to-one session. Firstly is to set up a team agreement and a common expectations and guidelines for the team, that team should come up what they want to do together and they should agree on the practices that they want to do, so that the delivery manager is also being a part of the team, understands that he is also a part of the team and he is also expected to perform a certain role within that.
Yep.
And then another suggestion was that we should have more one-to-one sessions with the delivery manager and giving them help them set the right expectations and try to mitigate any because his focus is more delivery side, so making them
Yeah.
aware that he should focus more on the value rather than
Yeah.
building a value and in building the efficient working of the team rather than just on the delivery. So basically trying to shift his mindset towards an agile mindset
Very good.
and working in and day out with the manager. That was one point that was discussed. Anybody would like to add anything? If I missed something.
Yeah, so team number 2 says there needs to be a mindset shift from delivery mindset to a value-based outcome-based mindset. All right. Yeah, so let's go to team number 3. Yeah, team 3. What was your outcome of this discussion that you had regarding to this kind of a situation that we come across every day? Team 3 is Pranav.
Yeah.
Praveen. Yeah.
Faisal.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we have the like same things like about the regarding to like just go for the deliverables. We have to follow the Scrum. Like we have to some kind of like proper Scrum practices. We have to go like we have to set the team morale as well, and not to be just push them to that go for like we have to just deliver the thing. No, we have to proper the Scrum process that we have, and also follow the agile values as well. Where like we have to prefer the individuals over the tools and processes. Like we, yeah, so we have to follow the agile value. If we are not following the agile values, that we are not doing the Scrum. So then the last line we say that is not like we can doing a Scrum, that we are not doing Scrum. So we just like pretending to be Scrum. So we have to follow the 4 agile values and the process of the Scrum. So that's where we are. And as a core, we can say that as a Scrum Master, that core. We can say that his duty about to like implement the Scrum with like his values to guide the team, coach the team, and follow the practices of the good practices to be developed. This not just focus on the deliverables. What we are, yeah.
So who's going to bell the cat here, right? As Scrum Kishore has to go and coach the
team
and the manager also, right? That what we are doing is not agile or it is not Scrum, right? We are faking Scrum.
Yeah.
So let's go to team number 4 and hear them out. Team number 4 is Swati and others. Yes, Swati and others. Please go ahead. What are your ideas and thoughts on the same?
We have not added any note here.
No worries on that. You can just share here with the audience.
Yes. Our thoughts around the challenge was same. It is the responsibility of the Scrum Master to make sure the manager has the right idea, right understanding about his role and value addition in the Scrum to the team and in Scrum events. We ended up discussing a particular situation which I faced personally. One of the manager asked me to involve him in the daily Scrum. Initial conversations the manager and I had, they were smooth initially, but later it ended on a bad note and it was very unpleasant conversation. There were very right points mentioned by Neha here regarding the mindset. I very much agree to that, but it is not very easy and not very easy going when it comes to everyday challenges. I mean, this is one of the very bad experience which I see because sometimes Scrum Masters, we do know what is the right thing to do here, but it doesn't go
as per plan.
Yes, it doesn't go the same.
All right.
I'm not sure right now what better I could have done during that situation, but one thing is it went accordingly that manager did not attend the daily Scrum, but I'm not sure what I could have done better, maybe in terms of mindset change. It doesn't happen in one day or in just one conversation.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you so much, Swati, for sharing. Let's go to room number 5. Pranoy.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Right. So, Deepak, what we discuss about as the statement says that Kishore is on a new team as Scrum Master.
Yeah.
So it means that the team was not a Scrum team till Kishore entered the team. And as other participants also said that they were not following Scrum, even though they are saying that it's a Scrum, that was not Scrum because there's no accountability called reporting manager. And we have only developers, then product owner and the Scrum Master.
Master, yes.
We have to first thing, again, the mindset, and we have to coach the team and let them know that these are the accountabilities. So if I am Kishore, the first and foremost thing I'm going to understand the team, how the team is working. But my first responsibility would be coach them on the Scrum framework.
Okay.
That will be my first responsibility. And obviously the reporting manager, I don't know if I need to see if that can be something like playing a role of product owner, but they are calling as a reporting manager. But that is a later part of the whole process, which maybe as a Scrum Master, I may not be the responsible person, but my first thing would be coach the team on the Scrum framework.
Okay. Anything else, team number 5, you want to add quickly? All right, so let's go to team number Palak.
Yeah, so Deepak, most of the points were covered over here as a coach, the manager. So we start with that. But the other point that I would like to highlight is that his role is also important in the organization. So we have to keep that in mind, and we have to give him the assurance that just you are an important stakeholder to us and not a team member. So although your opinions and everything you do is important, so we have certain events like iteration review where you can get the similar benefits which you expect from what you join in our other meetings. So by just creating this thin boundary line and also knowing that you are important to us, but as a stakeholder, I think that's a major highlight that I would want to add apart from all the points that were shared.
Yeah, thank you, Palak, for sharing. I believe a lot of great points have come out of the discussion. Primarily, if we summarize the discussion that we had, we need to coach the team as well as the manager, right? About what is agile and what is Scrum, right? But having said that, it is easy to coach the team rather than coach the manager. You all agree or not? In my own experience, it is very, very, I wouldn't say impossible, but it is difficult to coach the manager about agile values and principles. Though they may agree in principle, but then multiple times they would still be trying to be part of the Scrum events, right? Whether it's daily Scrum or it's planning or whatnot, right? So yes, a lot of huge responsibilities on the shoulders of Kishore, that he has to coach the manager, and coaching is something which cannot happen on a single instance, right? Continuously, he has to initiate a dialogue with the manager and align him towards the agile values and principles, right? So coaching will come into much major play here rather than anything else, right? With respect to the manager. And what I agree with what Palak has said, he has to be given the importance, because we like it or we don't like it. A manager would always be there, right? Associated with the Scrum team. We all say that Scrum has only 3 roles of a product owner, Scrum Master, or developers. So if a manager is not taking the role of a product owner, as in this case, then he can always be invited in the review meetings, right? And we can always say, and we can build the confidence that yes, this is precisely what we are going to deliver. You have to build that trust with the manager and then take it forward. So there is no easy answer to this, but it calls for a lot of coaching and training and interacting with the team, interacting with the manager to ensure that the agile ways of working are actually practiced moving forward. Right? All of you agree? All right, great. Thank you so much. And let's move to the next case that is there, right? So I will just pick one of the cases from the Jamboard. Okay, so we are going to pick up a very, very interesting case, which is Scrum Challenge number 3, frame number 6 of Jamboard. So let me pull this up and it will be visible on your screen very quickly. All right, here it is. So this is very, very interesting. The product owner and Scrum Master conundrum. So Ram, stepping into his role as Agile coach, uncovers a prevailing practice where one individual juggles the responsibilities of both product owner and scrum master across multiple teams. Is this approach aligned with agile principles, and what steps should RAM consider fostering optimal team dynamics and success? Right? So it again, Ram is an agile coach, right? And he observes in multiple teams, the role of a product owner and scrum master is being played by a single person. So is it right? What are the pitfalls and what are the benefits, if at all, right? If we follow this kind of an approach in the agile way of working, right? So this is something that you guys have to discuss, and let's see what comes out of the discussion. For this, you can use frame number 7 of Jamboard to note down your points and if you really want to add something onto the Jamboard, you can use frame number 7 of the Jamboard. All right. So I'm going to create breakout rooms. You want to save rooms, or should I recreate the rooms? All right. So let's start. We'll start with team number 5 first. Yeah, team number 5. What came out of the discussion here? Should a single person play the role of a PO and SM in a Scrum team? Hello?
Yeah. So Praveen, this side, we discuss about this in length, and what we come up with that, it is typically not aligned with the agile principles, what we discussed previously also. Why it is not aligned? Why the person is doing such a thing, he's playing a dual role, we need to understand that problem first, because if we have a problem in front of us, we can make a solution to it also. So we need to understand that as well. Now we are very clear that there is an ambiguity in roles and responsibility which is in front of us. This is one of the problem, but what is the reason behind that problem, which we'll also discuss in the subsequent discussions. And of course, for coming out of this solution, we can have a working agreement within the team with the PO, so as to understand the better way of working in such situations, and also we can have a underlying reason for performing in the same dual role. And also we can educate, coach, mentor the person who is playing the dual role about the roles and responsibility laid down in the Scrum Guide as well.
Yep.
So all in all, a typical discussion within the team around the context which is being placed upon.
All right. So thank you so much, Praveen, for sharing. Let's go to room number 1. Room number 1, anything you want to add to what room number 5 has just said? Team number 1 is Junaid and others. Yes, anybody from team 1 can pitch in.
Yes, Deepak. Most of the points were added by Praveen. There were a few good points brought out by the members in the breakout room, that it is not wrong. It is not an anti-pattern maybe for the same person to handle both Scrum Master and PO. And the first point in the point here mentions that already, but the multiple teams is a problem here, which I see it as, because the same person is both Scrum and PO across the teams. Definitely more than one. So that may that a person will not be able to make justice to both the roles. As
okay, so you mean to say that if the team is, if he's leading a single team, right, then it is fine, he can play both the roles?
I'm not saying it is fine, but if a person is capable enough to
capability, all right, very good point. Yeah, this is a very, very important point. Thank you so much.
But we have to make sure that no duties of SM and PO are compromised there.
Yeah, so in the end, it is all about juggling the different hats, whether you are capable of juggling 2 hats at the same time, right? And you can do justice to both the roles. Correct?
Yes.
All right. So team number 3, Agrim and others. Anything you want to share? Anything which has not been pointed out so far?
One thing that is I have to add on, the main we can say that role of the PO that he is the have to accept the user story. Like he's a like product owner to his like
Yeah.
role, have to accept the user stories, what the team work on the sprints, and he has the authority to accept and reject the user stories. Like when the person is as a PO and as a Scrum Master, so it's thing like that. I am also working with the team, and also when I'm like the product owner, so I'm also accepting my own work. So
Yeah.
it's like be some kind of like conflict on the thing, like we can't justify that this thing is going good or not because I'm working. So it's look like that I done my work very well. So nobody can say that this kind of a things like be missing or this kind of a thing need to be like more improved. And this is not as per the product. So because when you are running two rows, you might be risk that you miss some kind of a points or miss kinds of important factors, which is we can say like also the second IFR view is need to be good thing. So I think the PO and Scrum Master need to be a separate. And also in the Agile and Scrum, there's no proper rule about that. The one person can't handle two roles.
Yeah.
But as a good practice is to be a one role for one person is very good practice.
Yeah. Scrum Guide clearly says there has to be a Scrum Master and a product owner, right? But yes, this is a situation which I have come across multiple times. And I have seen Agile coaches struggling with this, how to convince the management. And that is why this case challenge was put up here. All right, let's go to room number 2. Anyone from room number 2 can just share, your findings of what discussion went in room number 2. Yes.
So room number 2, we like Abhishek, Archana.
Yeah, Abhishek. Yes.
Okay, fine. Yeah, so room number 2, like we discussed the 5 points initially, the same thing that Scrum Guide does not say that 2 roles cannot be handled. And then Ram as an agile coach can suggest to create 2 roles as PO and SM separately, I believe, because there are multiple teams. And a third option is having third issue would be like having 2 roles might not have that much bandwidth for a single person to handle both the things and can increase complexity. There will be focus conflict. The person will not be able to focus. And finally, a Scrum Master can be like another suggestion would be Scrum Master can be common to multiple teams. Like product owner, I'm not sure of that because this I'm currently facing here. We have product owners for all the teams, but Scrum Master is like common, like two to three teams. So I wanted to ask that question as well. I mean, get clarity on that as well. Yeah.
Very good, very good. See, that is why it is here, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's have some sharing with team number 5, Pranav and others. What do you think about this? A single person playing a role of PO and Scrum Master. Yeah, we all know.
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
think
go ahead.
we have mentioned that that we are not it's not aligned with the agile principles.
Yes.
It shouldn't be played by the problem. The issue here is it's nowhere mentioned in the Scrum Guide that PO and Scrum Master can be the same person or it cannot be. But as everyone has said, it is the matter of the individual's capability. At one end, if he's playing the role of a product owner, his focus would be more on the product backlog, sprint backlog, defining backlog grooming, backlog refinement in order to get the product through. But if the same person becomes a Scrum Master, then the focus changes towards the sprint in terms of how the sprint is going on, how the movement is. So he will start doing micromanagement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So this is where I think personally that these 2 roles should not be played by the same person. And if I come across such situation, there should be a clear-cut mention of the details of both the roles as it is mentioned in the Scrum Guide. So it becomes very ambiguous.
Absolutely. Yes, Vineet, you have raised your hand.
Yes. So I just
want. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to speak on that. Like when we talk about these 2 accountability, Scrum Master and Product Owner, their orientation is totally different.
Absolutely.
Scrum Master is oriented towards the people and process, and your Product Owner is toward the ROI, how you can maximize the ROI.
Yeah.
Even if we talk about in the Scrum Guide, they talk about that Product Owner is getting benefit by utilizing the maximum from the Scrum team. However, Scrum Master is responsible for the effective delivery.
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously, when we are going to mix both of the role, you don't know in the event which role you are going to play. For example, if you talk about the sprint planning, you don't know whether you are playing as Scrum Master or you're playing as a product owner. Because
Fantastic.
they're conflicting in that sense.
Yep.
Okay.
See, just to add to this, if I'm a product owner, I'll try to, squeeze the requirements and try to get more velocity out of a particular sprint. And if I'm a Scrum Master, I will logically look at how the requirements are shaping up.
Yep.
So this will be an ambiguous situation because as a product owner, my focus is on the sprint goal, which is to be delivered. But as a Scrum Master, I also need to ensure that the definition of ready is being met for all the items which have been picked up in the sprint.
Yep.
And as a product owner, I may just try and push everything into a sprint and squeeze the overall requirement so that I get more out of the team. I will not see how the team is performing.
Fantastic.
And also to add on in that,
Yep.
in the Scrum Guide, there is a clear responsibility mentioned of Scrum Master toward product owner also.
Yes.
So if one person is playing the same responsibility, how that responsibilities are going to be played on.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing this. Right? So we all know that Scrum Master and product owner are almost contrary to each other. It is very difficult for a single person to play both the roles, right? And Scrum Master is the agile coach of the team, and he has accountability towards the product owner, the organization, and towards the team, right? So if the same person is playing this role, we can just imagine what is going to happen. But this is a real situation. I've come across this in multiple organizations, right? For multiple reasons. I mean, they have this kind of a structure where they want single person to play this role. So yeah, one thing is very clear that it depends upon the individual whether he can be able to juggle different hats, and it is almost impossible to do it, right? Because both are very, very heavy roles. A product owner itself is a huge responsibility, and Scrum Master obviously is the agile coach. So these kind of practices should be avoided at all cost, right? And what we, as an agile coach, needs to do is you need to talk about agile values, principles, and Scrum again and again, right? It's going to be a long drawn process. As I always say, it's a transformation. It takes lots and lots of time, lots of talking to different people, different stakeholders to bring them onto the same page. But yes, it is doable because this is something that we achieved in the last organization where we were having a single person playing a role of a PO and Scrum Master, right? So agile evangelists, we need to talk about agile values and principles over time again and again, right? And taking into confidence different stakeholders, because once the stakeholders align to this, then probably it becomes very easy for us to separate these two roles. All of you agree? Because this comes from the stakeholders, right? The top management. We need to have a single guy playing the role of PO and SM. So definitely, as an agile coach, we need to coach them about agile values and the Scrum principles. All right, guys. So thank you so much. We'll take one more interesting case. And let's see. Yeah, go ahead.
One question, Deepak.
Yeah.
If we suppose we have two teams, team A and team B. Can one person be a PO for team A and Scrum Master for team B? Is that a possibility?
Yes. So let me put this question to the audience.
Yes, agile doesn't stop us from doing that. If there are two separate teams, we can play that role. So it doesn't stop us from doing that.
Yeah, anybody else?
I would suggest it depends on the situation of team A and team B and the deliverables that are being expected from both the teams. If they are in the same line of business and working on the similar deliverables,
like two different clients,
two different clients,
then you can, then it's okay.
Okay.
Otherwise, it again becomes ambiguous in the same line of business.
Okay.
So even for two different clients, I don't think so. It again depends on the person's perception.
Yeah, exactly.
And how that person will take it forward, because see, both are individually, different type of roles, which we discussed earlier. So they were totally the opposites. So one is for the value delivery.
To each other.
Yeah, one is for the value delivery and one is for the alignment to the goal. Okay, so I don't think so it will be difficult, irrespective, like, if the person is smart enough and if he's able to manage, then that's fine. But definitely, as a coach, like, we should not recommend mixed bag of all these roles.
Absolutely. So I agree with the Venkat. Absolutely. As coach, we should never recommend, because see, what happens is once you start picking up or, start supporting these kinds of initiatives, then it starts percolating across the organization, right? You will have multiple teams which will try to follow this kind of, and the agile will go for a toss, right? And a lot of complexities will start coming up. So as agile coaches, we should never recommend these kind of practices and stick to the agile values and principles. Thank you so much, Venkat, for bringing this up. And let's move to, let me pick up another challenge and an interesting one. All right. So this is very interesting. Let's go to frame number 2 of the Jamboard, right? Meet Jayant. So this is a case which I came across just 2 days back. Right?
Sorry, I just joined late. Can you please give me that link?
Yeah, I'll share the link with you. Just give me a moment. So this is the case, meet Jayant. So navigating Scrum Dynamics with a 17-member team. Now see, there's a Scrum team which has 17 members. And why? The management says we want to centralize knowledge, right? There are so many, 17 people are working on a single product. So if they are separated into 2 different teams, probably the knowledge may not be centralized. So that is one reason why they have a 17-member team. So Jayant is struggling with this, how effectively to handle this situation, because as a Scrum Master, he's facing huge amount of challenges in managing or in coaching a 17-member team. So this is the case. Let's see how all of you do this. And again, I'm going to put you into breakout rooms, right? I will. All right. So how was it? 17-member team. Have you all come across this kind of situation? Anybody?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So let's have a round of discussion. Let's go to room number 1, Swati and others. Yes, please. What do you think? 17 members team. And what is going to be the biggest impact if you have a 17 members team? Please go ahead. Yeah, anybody from team number 1 can share.
Yeah. So, Deepak, what we discussed in detail also, that first of all, it is not aligned with whatever being mentioned in the Scrum Guide. We should have team members from 4 to 10. Why these reservations or this kind of a small team being promoted in this guide is because of we have a first thing, Brooks Law, which clearly says that we should have a communication channel. Increasing communication channel will reduce the productivity. With 17 people in place, we will have a communication channel of 136 as against the Scrum Guide, which promote 10 team members, which has a communication of 45. So almost 3 times communication channel is increasing. So productivity will suddenly go down with that big team. So we should promote a small team to increase the productivity in a better way. Of course, we can have a common product backlog. We can have a common POSM that can be worked around in that manner. Coming to the other part of that as well, we will have a small team with a better competition in place. With if we divide a team with the same team members and we can correlate between their velocities, we can make a healthy competition within them also, which will give them a better opportunity to inspect and adopt also, frequent opportunity for that as well. The other point which we discuss is about the small team members will also have the opportunity in the retrospective for their way of working, how they can improve upon. And we can divide the teams with respecting the self-organizing and cross-functional also into the place. As we know, in Pareto principle, it says 20% of the people do 80% of the work. So we can divide the team in such a manner that it will be distributed evenly, and it should not. So we have a common understanding with those kind of factors as well.
Thank you so much. Amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah. So let's go to room number 5. Anything you want to share? Room number 5. Your perspective on this kind of a situation. Room number 5 is Venkat and friends. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Like in our discussion, we have gone through first of all, like about what are the impediments the team facing if the 17 members. First of all, we have to analyze them by their looking at the daily stand-ups and their we have to go through like 2 sprint retrospective to understand what kind of a challenges they are facing. And after the challenging, like after deep observation, and then we have to go for like a conclusion about like where we have to do that thing. Like we have to divide the team into 2 teams to be work on that thing, because as the one thing is smaller team can be like easier to faster the results. We can say that thing. So, but initially we can not just see the number of the team members and there is a 17 team, we have just divide them 2 and go for the results. It's not like we can coming with like a productivity unless we saw the problems, saw the issues, what they are facing, and resolve that thing, and then we go for the conclusion about that thing where we have to divide the team into and for the productivity and communication channel for the centralized thing, and with the separate scrum masters, and that we can say that when we are 2 teams, and then it's not a single scrum, then we are running for a scrum of scrums, we can go for different 2 scrums, and where that both teams scrum masters join their thing in a meeting and communication of their team, like what their teams are working, what is their progress, and what they are doing, and if there is any kind of a challenges they are facing, and they have to communicate with the team others, so they communicate over there, their centralized team channel over there in the scrum masters meeting. That is one observation, that one thing we have to come with, like with the proper observation, what kind of a challenge and what kind of impediments the 17 member teams are facing, then we have to go for the results and for the solution. Yeah.
All right.
So.
Thank you so much. Let's move to room number 3, Palak and friends.
Yeah.
What was your observation? Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just asking team, would anyone wants to discuss? Okay, so I think pretty much the points were communicated. I mean, it's just because we have a big team that doesn't mean that we will have good knowledge sharing. We need good face-to-face collaboration. So we all agreed that we want to split the teams, preferably in between, the number should be between under 10. And we said that we will have one product backlog. We would have all the knowledge sharing materials would be the same, which we share with the teams, because that's the feasible way. Although the team is divided, they share. And I think this is what is happening in the teams which I'm working with right now. We are all working on similar products, and so, but we have different teams and we share the same product backlog and we share the same knowledge repository. Have community of practice where we share our ideas. So I think it is doable. You don't need to have all 17 people in just one team. That is something which is not visible.
All right. So thank you so much, Palak, and also sharing your experience that you are witnessing this kind of a situation. Right. So thank you so much. Let's go to team number 2, Snehal. Anything you want to add? Your group wants to add to whatever we have discussed so far?
Just an opinion here.
Yeah, go ahead.
I will not split the team as Scrum Master. Instead of that, I will coach the team and I will tell them that what is the disadvantage of being a 17-member team, and let them decide that what they want to do.
Yep. Very good. Very good. Fantastic. Okay, let's go to Abhishek. Room number 4, quickly. Abhishek and others. Room number 4.
Yeah. Alvi, you want to go or can I go?
Okay, yeah, I'll go. So basically what we discussed is, although Scrum Guide doesn't prohibit a 17-member team, it says typically 10 or fewer. So it is recommended for a particular reason. The particular reason is if the team is not lean, it is too bulky. That is a 17-member team, it hampers the communication, coordination, and most importantly, it hampers the Scrum Master to facilitate the team in for the impediment resolution in the different the Scrum events that come time to time. The team's ability to inspect and adapt will be hampered in the retro, in the daily Scrum, in all the specific Scrum events. And most important of all, especially in the daily Scrum, if we have a 17-member Scrum team, we will struggle to keep the event within time box. Even if everyone has a small point, to fit it within 15 minutes will be a challenge. Absolutely. Apart from that, as the management is saying, the centralized knowledge, we can get that centralized knowledge with the 10 or fewer teams as well. That is cross functionality. We can have that cross functionality with 10 or fewer teams, and more effectively we can just split it into 9 or 8 or 10 or 7. We can have a product backlog, we can have a central repository. If we want to have a informal connects apart from these scrum events, we can do that. So this will help the entire team to move in a well-oiled machine. It will be it will be easy to facilitate, easy to collaborate, communicate, and coordinate amongst each other. So that makes
Absolutely.
it more efficient.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So adding to that,
Yeah,
Deepak,
guys,
so
go ahead.
there is, I mean, like there will be a challenges, like some 17 members, right? Some team members will sitting idle, maybe because of they don't have the work. So there's a wastage. So we maybe
Exactly. This is what it is happening. Those are Scrum Masters.
Just
Yeah,
to
go
add the
ahead,
redundancy, that is the redundancy that is created. So even if we have a task that is say 5 user story point, and one developer can manage, and unnecessarily we are having 2-3 developers, one or more developers more in the team, there comes the resource wastage, which could be minimized if we have a splitted.
Yep. So this is precisely what the Scrum Master told me, right? The daily Scrum is taking more than 1 hour, right? The sprint planning meeting is going on for hours and hours, and there are people who are there in the meeting who are least interested. But since they are part of the team, they are there, right? So communication is a huge challenge, and this is the challenge that Scrum Master is facing. Even in the review meeting, even in retrospective, people are not able to keep their point, right? They are not able to provide feedback. And that is the real challenge the Scrum Master is facing.
Yeah.
For having a 17-member team, right? All right, guys. So we are almost just 6 minutes more. I've sent you a link. Please provide some feedback for today's session, and any other questions you may want to put up to the audience, please, this is the time for you. Any questions you may have? Any thoughts,
Hello, sir.
ideas? Yeah, go ahead, Snail.
Yeah, just I have observed in a previous organization they're having a huge team of 20 or 25, and even they are for cross-cutting organization is doing the same thing again, and at the deliverables at the time of the all the team is staying all the long night, still whole night to be there, and they all chaos is there. So I just they are doing these things.
So it is impossible to time box the events, right? If you are a 17-member team, just imagine the situation. You are running a daily Scrum, a DS, and daily Scrum should be maximum of how many minutes?
15 minutes.
15
minutes, and there are 17 members.
Yes.
So you're not even getting a single minute, right? And eventually what is happening, it is running close to 1 hour, 15 minutes, 2 hours and all. And in the planning meeting also, there are many people who are just there, right? They're forced to be part of that, and they are just not interested what is going on. So this is again a very important, rather big challenge for the Scrum Master. And this was a question, this came to me just 2 days back. How do I handle this, right? We have a 17-member team. They don't want to, break it up because of some knowledge repository kind of stuff. And this is the challenge. So what should I do? So my advice was plain and simple. Just tell them the amount of time they are wasting. As simple as that, right? For a DS, which would take 15 minutes, if you are spending 75 minutes or even 120 minutes for that, it gives you certain insights, right? Or how much wastage is happening there with respect to time and the value that the team is not able to create in that amount of time, right? All right, guys. So any feedback for today's session? Any more questions you have? Please let us know.
I do have one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Not one of these challenges. This is the one which I face every day, and it takes me every day, but I do not know the better way to handle this. My Scrum team is 8 members, and there's a project manager also who is interested in knowing the progress on the sprint goal every day. So this might be pretty common.
Pretty common. You have a sprint board also, right?
Yes.
Where the project manager come and see how the items are moving within a sprint.
Yes, and I end up having discussion with project manager every day for half hour. Where are we? Where do we stand? What is
My
the
God.
progress? What is the challenges that we are facing? And somehow the conversation doesn't go well, and I end up sandwiched between the team and project manager. I do not want the team to waste their time again to have conversation with project manager and convey him, and so I'm not able to do this better. So to save team's time, to make sure the project manager is happy, I end up joining those discussions.
With the
Has any of
project
you
manager, right?
faced
So
this?
you are having one-to-one meeting with the PM.
Yes.
Right.
And
So
the PM is having the same conversation in one meeting with every Scrum Master there.
this is a real challenge, right?
Yes.
Yes. Anybody who has come across the similar situation and you've been able to navigate through this kind of a challenge?
Not really, but on a lighter note, Swati, I think you should send that project manager the Scrum training.
Yeah, that is every agile coach says the same thing, right? We need to train them, we need to coach them, we need to mentor them. But is it so easy?
No.
It's not easy. Yeah.
It is not easy. It's very difficult. It's challenging, right? So Swati, keep having those conversations, right? Try to build that trust so he starts trusting you. And then you can start conveying the information that, you have to trust me and the team for these deliverables. It is going to be a long haul. There's no shortcut for this, right? Or I would say there's no that silver key is not there. So it's all about conversation, how you take the conversation forward, and how in the conversation itself you have to coach him about agile values and principles as an agile coach. So lots of responsibilities on your end.
See, one other thing, like
Yes,
sorry, I
Venkat.
just wanted to understand. Are you maintaining your, user stories, epics, and all in any tool?
Yes, we use Jira. User stories, we update it, not on a regular basis, maybe every alternate day.
But start doing it on a daily basis, na?
Yeah.
And then create a dashboard and then share it with your PM and ask your team members to do it on a daily basis.
Go check this, don't ask me.
No. I mean, you can open the Jira. See, all you can do is like open the Jira and then present him that in your talk. Tell him that, boss, this is what the status is, and the status is there here. Create a visual traction. Okay. If not a Jira, have a
whiteboard.
Have a
whiteboard. Yeah.
Just show the progress to him. See, all they would be interested as PMs and all, right, is the progress.
Yeah.
Okay. So share them that.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Venkat, for the insights. So guys, we are almost at the end. Anything else? And how was the session? Did you enjoy it?
Yes. Yeah, it was very
Yeah.
good. Yep.
Did we create value?
Yeah, we
Yes.
add some values.
Full session.
Yeah, some insights, because these challenges we are all facing on day-to-day basis, right? So I'm trying to come up with different challenges that people are facing, and in the future events that we are going to have, which are going to take place under LTS, we'll be bringing more sub challenges for us to discuss and see how we can, as agile practitioners, take the agile journey to the next level within our organization, right? So thank you guys so much for this. Have a great evening and see you very soon.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.